There we go. Okay, so we're just going to go through all the notes, and then when we're done, I'll give you the printed copy, so you have them for Avid or for your own studying, because you're responsible students. What? I'm an Avid teacher, thank you very much. Why aren't you in it this year? Okay. We only do it twice a week. Okay, so we're going to first start reviewing, by the way, it's called factoring by grouping. What are the similarities and differences of factoring a trinomial, which we know how to do, we're going to review one of those, versus a polynomial with 4 terms. Ooh, 4 terms. Okay, so let's review on your whiteboard, please. Write down the example, factoring a trinomial. Example 1, this is stuff we already know how to do. This is what you're writing, 7r squared minus 13r plus 6. Over here on my board, I have the key as a reminder, the X box method. Okay? All you have to do is write down 7r squared minus 13r plus 6 and factor it out. I'm going to let you do that because we already know how. Here's the key in case you forgot. When you're done, put your board up so I can check it off for you. Wow, you're already done. She beat the mom? What? Oh, not quite. Remember when they sent the mom like into the doorway and you had to like run through the class? That was fun. Remember, it has to multiply back to the original. Right now, yours multiplies back to r squared, not the 7r squared. This is to me? Oh, this is for Topeka. From Miss Davis. It has to multiply back to 7r squared. Yours right now, from what I saw, was r times r was r squared, not 7r squared.
Oh, did I go?
I don't know. What does it say?
I don't know. I can't read.
Right after school.
Oh, right after school?
Yep. With a leader of the event we are presenting at next week.
Oh, okay.
So she'll be right in Ms. Davis's room right after school.
But I have operational failure.
It's a brief meeting. You can come after the meeting, okay?
Oh.
Oh, we have people up. No.
I haven't.
Okay, yours, put the variable first. Oh. Oh. Oh, no. Okay, what you have on your box is right, but you didn't copy it correctly when you wrote your binomials. Yes. There you go. I think that's it. Let me look. Yeah. Ooh, one little mistake. Uh-oh. Do we need to review this? I think we need to review this. Okay. So 7's throwing you off. Okay. On the top, we should be looking for 7 times 6, which is 42. Adding to the middle, negative 13. Make sure you use a negative. Careful on the signs. Listing. What times 1 is 42? Okay, but also negative 7 times negative 6. That's the one we want, right? Those are our R's. R, and I wrote an S. R's. Okay. Oh, you're warmer, but not quite. Then we fill in the box. Okay. Top left. What goes in the top left? 7r squared, the first term. Bottom right, Ashley. What goes in the bottom right? You are right. Good job. And then the 2 we found. 7r, minus 7r, and minus 6r. Now, we have to be very careful on our greatest common factor. Okay, Dan, what's the greatest common factor for the top row? Finally, you got it.
7R.
For the top row?
Top row. No. R.
Just r. Okay, Ryan, what about the bottom row? What divides into negative 7 and 6? Or positive 1. Depends. We'll have to see. And the first column. What's the first column, Cassie? Oh, this is what most people were missing. 7r. But look at your signs. A positive times a positive is a positive. And a positive times a positive will not make that a negative, so that's why it should be a negative 1. Because then we'll get a negative 7r. And the last column, Brandon. Okay, make sure, check your signs. R times negative 6, is that negative 6r? And negative 1 times negative 6, is that positive 6? Yeah. So 7r minus 6, r minus 1. Okay, if we have time at the end of notes, we can practice another one of those. But we're going to go on to factoring by grouping, which is what the notes really are on. And your essential question says, what are the similarities and differences between the factoring we already know versus factoring 4 terms by grouping that we'll be learning today? Okay, so erase your boards. Okay. Oh, my board's shaking. Example 2. Please write this example down. We're going to factor this guy. 6h to the 4th plus 9h cubed plus 12h squared plus 18h. Oh my gosh. 4 terms on the homework? I think it was just trinomials on the last homework.
Is that not homework that I counted?
The exponents were higher, but they were still trinomials.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have a handful of steps. The first step you always want to look at before you start factoring is there a GCF? Pull out GCF. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. I think it's more than just 3. 3h. So when we pull out a GCF, remember, that means we're timesing everything by 3h and dividing every term by 3h. Because 3h divided by 3h is just 1, so it's actually not changing the problem. Your question? Confusion? Okay, so if we factor out 3h, we will have remaining, oops, someone I haven't talked to in a while. Katie, I haven't talked to you in a while. Can you divide all those by 3h and let me know what's remaining? Okay, what do you have?
2, 8, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, or middle. What do you think? I agree. Good, thumbs up. Okay? Now, we can go and factor. But we're used to factoring by when we have a trinomial. So there's a trick to factoring when there are 4 terms. That's called polynomial, right? Monomial 1 term, binomial 2, 3 terms, trinomial. After that, it's a polynomial. So what we're going to do is we're going to group the terms. Okay, group terms and factor out anything in common. Factor out anything in common. Essentially, we're finding a second GCF. So I'm going to group these two together. Think about it. Do those two have a GCF? The first two. H squared. So we're going to factor out h squared. So don't forget this 3h hanging outside. I have h squared. When I factor it out, I have something plus something. What would be remaining? 2h plus 3, because it means we're going to take 2 h's off of that guy and 2 h's off of that guy. Now we are going to group another set, taking the sign with it, which is just positive. 4h plus 6. I'm sorry? They both have at least 2 h's, right? This one has 3 and this one has 2. So we factored out 2 of them. Okay. Okay. Dylan Gardner. What does our second group have in common? Four h plus 6. Do they have a greatest common factor?
Everyone's saying random things.
Don't be the evil shoulder angel. No? They're evens, right?
Oh, yeah.
2. So a positive 2. I think we should let Brandon tell us what's remaining when we factor it out, because he was being like the evil shoulder angel over there. 4h plus 6, dividing by 2. Good. Ah, look what happened! Matchy matchy. That is supposed to happen if it's factorable. Wait a minute.
Oh my God.
So, step 3, we're ready to write our answer. Step 3, one of the binomials is the match. The match will be a binomial factor. Because they have it in common, so I'm going to factor out what they have in common, which is 2h plus 3. I'm factoring out what they have in common, 2h plus 3. That's one of my factors. Then, the other factor was the GCF from step 2. H squared plus 2. If I took out 2h plus 3, it would leave h squared plus 2. That's my other factor. And then don't forget, we have something else. What else is hanging out there?
3H.
Excellent. 3h. So I'm going to put also, don't forget, the GCF from step 1. 3h. I like to see the 3h on the front, but you can put it on the back. We can multiply in any order. That is factoring by grouping. And if you wanted to check, there's hands going up. I'm wondering if I made an error. If I wanted to check, I can multiply everything back through, and I would get the original that we have up there in blue. Questions? Okay, so factoring means I find what they have in common. They have these in common, right? I'm going to factor them out. What's remaining is h squared plus 2. So essentially the coefficients become one of them. So I factor out those, pull them. What's remaining is h squared plus 2. Mind blowing. As much as imaginary numbers? No. Okay, erase your boards. Let's try another one. So I put like an example. That was example 2. Example 3. Now you know the steps. It'll be pretty straightforward. Here we go. Factoring 8t cubed plus 14t squared plus 20t plus 35. Now, not all polynomials are factorable. The ones in our homework should be, because it's a nicely written book. So if you don't get a match, you've probably done something wrong. Step 1. What was step 1?
Whoa.
Sorry. No, I just hit the button. Haruna, what was step 1? See if there's a greatest common factor. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. But if there is, we need to take it out, because that helps us work with smaller numbers, which is nicer for us. Is there a greatest common factor? What about 2 or 4? 35, that's the problem, right? That's an odd guy. So no greatest common factor to pull out of this one. Step 2, let's do what? Group. Grouping and find their individual greatest common factor. So take your marker, group the first 2, find their greatest common factor and pull it out. Work it out on your board. Group the first 2, we're just ignoring the last 2 for a minute. Find the greatest, it has to be the greatest common factor, and pull it out. Okay, what's the greatest common factor that divides out of both of those? 4 doesn't go into 14. No, it's going to be smaller. 2. So pull out a 2. Also, this one I think is cubed. Make that a 3. Okay, how many t's do they have? Well, total they have 5. This one has 3, this one has 2. So you can't ever take any more than the smallest guy. So they all have at least 2 to give, so put t squared. Not 2 squared, t squared. Okay, parenthesis in front of it. Parenthesis in front. And we're going to write down what's remaining. And close the parenthesis over here. So you do 8 divided by that 2, which would be what? 4.
Whoa, they matched.
T cubed, good. Divide. Now, if there were 3, you take 2 away. There's only 1. Okay, now plus 14 divided by 2. A little higher. Too high. What's between 6 and 8? 7. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And if there were 2 t's, you're taking 2 away, are any going to be left? No. So actually, we can, move that parenthesis a little closer. Okay, now group those 2 and do it again. Okay, some people, it sounds like have already gone on. Greatest common factor right here. Adam, what's the greatest common factor? 2t squared. Now when you pull that out, you get 4t plus 7. Any questions on that step so far? 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 7 is 14. Now we have to group the next one. Greatest common factor on 20t and 35. 5. So I pull a positive 5 out, and I write what's left. You can use parentheses or brackets. They do the same thing. So I have 4t, looking good so far, plus 7, matchy matchy. That should happen. What? So one of the factors is that match 4t plus 7. Who can tell me the other factor? Alicia? Excellent. And she got that because these have something in common. And if we remove them to pull them out, to factor them out, it leaves the coefficients 2t squared plus 5. Yep. It can go in either order. You can multiply in either order. So saying it this way is the exact same. It means the exact same. Both are correct. Okay? You want to try another one? Yes, you guys are so great. Like my calculus kids are like, can you give us a quiz on this next time? I was like, seriously? Yeah, they said that today. And we were doing this thing called chain rule that most calculus teachers have told me you have to spend 2 days because it's so hard, and they were getting it really well. They're like, we're doing so awesome. Can we just have a quiz on this next time? They were asking. That's what awesome people like you guys ask for is a quiz. Okay, which section is this supposed to be in, by the way? I can't just make up one of these because it won't work. This is near page 103. Haha. Okay. Make sure it's the one we haven't done. I think both of those you've done. Okay, let's try this one. Example 4. Example 4. Factor this. If you notice there are 4 terms, your automatic thought should be, let's go to factor by grouping. If there are 3 terms, you would try the X box. Okay. Try it all the way by yourself. If you get stuck, raise your hand. If you think you have it, raise your board, and I will double check. Always remember that first step, you have to look for a greatest common factor to pull out, which makes your life easier actually if you pull it out because you have smaller numbers. What divides into 8, 32, 40, and 160? Ashley. You too, Adam. Please be doing the work.
Yeah.
There's a greatest common factor you have to pull out at the very beginning, though. What divides into 8, 32, 40, and 160? 2 works, but there's a greater one. Yeah. Does 8 go into those? I think 8 goes into it. Good job. We have a winner! Yeah, you can erase it. You can erase it. Will you, Dominique, would you pass these out for me? Dominique's giving you the handwritten notes of what we just did. Okay, I'm coming.
Divided by 40 by 40. I did both.
But not, okay, at the very beginning, you have to find a greatest common factor. At the very beginning, all 4 of those coefficients can be divided by 8. So your first step is to pull out of an 8 out of all 4 of them. And you'll have smaller numbers and it'll be more manageable. Oh, we have one. Just a minute. I'm checking hers really quick. Good. Tatiana, can you pass this out to everyone since you're done? It's a SAGE review. Did I already give that to you?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Was anyone absent? You need one of these. No wonder I was low on copies, so I guess I didn't need to make copies. Okay. Good. Ooh. At the very beginning, you don't pull out an 8 and an M. So the M needs to go back in. Okay, now at the very beginning, you pull something out that you didn't write in your answer. Yeah, this is all right except for at the beginning. That 8 needs to go in the front. Okay, that's the first step. Now you need to group those and factor what they have in common. Group those, factor what they have in common. Let's see. Yes. Did you do it? Try again. You help her if she gets stuck. Okay, because he just got it. Good. This is weird. Okay, yes, you factor that out.
And then I got M squared.
Okay.
And then
Okay. Okay. Alright, borrow your marker. 8 stays out here. You factor out the m squared, which I agree with, which gives you this. You just need to write it with the m squared. What did you find those two have in common?
5.
So that's a positive 5, which pulls down this. Plus 4. So, matchy. It's that one. You have your 8. What's the last one?
M squared plus 5.
Okay, let me just go through this really quick so everyone can see. At the beginning, we had an 8. If we pull out an 8, we're left with m cubed plus 4m squared plus 5m plus what, 20? Is that right? Okay, then I group. First group, what do they have in common? M squared. Don't forget, though, that you have the 8 on the outside. M squared leaves you with m plus 4. Next group, what do those have in common?
5.
And if I factor it out, I get my match. Matchy. So, an easy thing to mess up on is that 8 on the outside. Don't drop it. I have my match. And m squared plus 5. Okay? So your homework, keep working on that SAGE review. Your SAGE test for you guys. You guys are the lucky ones because of computer lab, jam, everyone's trying to get in there. You actually don't have yours for a week and a half. So it'll be on the 3rd, on November 3rd. Can you believe it's November already? Here is the assignment on grouping. Page 103, 1 through 10. 10 problems. Think you can do it. Guys, I need you to take your lids, put your thumb on the top of the lid and press down. Make sure they're tight. I need you to send one person with the markers, erasers, and boards. Okay? I need the rest of you to, I don't know, clean up something else. Sure. Please bring me back, especially those markers. They're really expensive. And Kevin, can you bring me back that eraser that's hanging out there, that blue towel thingy? Thank you. Thank you. Huh? It's right there. 103, 1 through 10. Yep. Thank you. Making sure they're all secure. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to make sure the lid's are on. Yeah. Yes. Okay. How about you sign this and I'll run and grab it for you. Do you have a pen? Okay, this is for volume 2. Sign that and I'll go grab one for you. Operation Don't Fail today after school. Sorry. Yeah.
So since we don't have some portion today, that means I can skip today's study and then come on to Tuesday.
As long as you remember and study so you don't forget everything we worked on. See you later. There you go. Will you put your name in the cover, please, at class period? Thank you. What is this for? 10/29. What day is that? Next week? Wednesday? The last day of the term? You guys have a field trip? That's not good. You're lucky your SAGE test isn't that day. Okay, you guys know you're so responsible for what we do. I have a website for a reason.
Oh yeah, I go there. I went
Okay.
last time. Let's do it like Oxford.